These people are one of the tribes in Africa which claim direct descent from star beings who came to earth, we know not when, and who mated with African women. Star beings which, we are told, only had 2 fingers in either hand and 2 toes in either foot. We are told that the Bantwana people, with their 2 toes on either foot, are so because they are directly descended from these long-forgotten star beings. The word Kariba is the local corruption of the word Galube or Gulube, and the people of Kariba, the Tonga and the Tonga Ilas, also honor these creatures, the Galube. They believe, like the Mandebele, that these creatures control the earth's weather. That if the rain falls, it is because they, by some magic means, have turned it on. If there is a drought, it is also believed that the Galube are responsible. So closely did Africans coexist in many parts of Africa with these creatures that at one time it became a fashion for kings and queens in these countries to try and make themselves look as close to the Galube in appearance as possible. The kings of these peoples used to wear headdresses which were round to give their heads an appearance of being larger than they really were. And they used to paint their eyes with black paint to make their eyes long and slanted and large. And in the land of these peoples, a chin like that, like this creature has got, was regarded as an object of beauty. As far up the African map as Nigeria, at one time you found bronze heads from Nigeria portraying living kings, but whose features had been deliberately distorted to make them look as close to the Galube creature as possible. May I point out another very interesting thing, that in the land of Egypt, at the time of Pharaoh Akhenaten, Egyptians also portrayed themselves to resemble the Galube people. They portrayed themselves as having long, thin faces, chins exactly like that, and large, shaven heads. In fact, Akhenaten's wife, Nefertiti, wears a headdress which is intended to make her head larger than normal. And in ancient Greece, or rather classical Greece, there emerged a great ruler called Pericles, who also wore a helmet on his head, which made his head look abnormally large. And it became a fashion at that time amongst the Greeks to believe that the larger a person's head was, the more intelligent that person was. Our people say that whenever we need rain, we must direct our prayers towards the Orion constellation. We must at all times keep praying for rain and for a good harvest. Because the moment we stop praying, the sacred Galube women will think that we no longer need rain, that we have reached that stage of our development when we no longer need rain at all and no longer need to eat food. Let me end this talk on this subject of the Galube, that at one time I and a number of men and women in the land now called Zambia saw one of these sacred creatures. We had been called that there was a strange creature walking around in a certain place near the Kafui River. The creature looked as if it was lost, or rather, it looked as if it was looking for something. And because whenever such an apparition makes itself visible, people immediately call a medicine man or woman or a number of them. We were called there. The creature was tall, just over 7 feet high. The creature was definitely feminine. It had a long neck and a very large hairless head. The creature had very long, slender arms, but it wore a long robe which hid its legs, and it moved with a strange gliding motion across the landscape from one clump of trees to the other one. The creature had a bluish-gray skin. It moved through the long grass and then disappeared. After that, we all underwent a ceremony of purification because we had seen one of the holiest beings in Africa. The most hated, most despised, and most feared star creature in all Africa. This is the Mhondoruga. This is the creature which our people believe is the very personification of cold-blooded destructiveness and evil. This creature is completely alien. It has no limbs worth noting. It has no legs. It has no features that we can recognize except a pair of fearsome eyes on either side of a strange snout. The creature's head is always covered in a metallic helmet, and the creature moves along the ground like some kind of slug. Its forepart lifted above ground, about 9 feet above ground, and its hind part dragging like a snake behind it. This creature on soft sand leaves a heavy impression, which once you have seen it, you will never forget it. The creature is very heavy because where it has moved on soft sand, it leaves a mark, and I've measured it, a groove exactly 18 inches deep. This creature is utterly merciless. When village dogs see this creature, they go wild and they try to attack it, and it kills them. How it kills them, we do not know. But a dog which has been killed by a mhondoruga does not rot. It becomes hard, as if mummified. In fact, it is almost as hard as fiberglass. The dog becomes a hard shell which makes a hollow sound when you strike it with a stick or with your knuckles. In the course of my career as a Sangoma, I have seen 4 dogs which the Mhondoruga has killed. The name Mhondoruga means the weaver of war. And whenever this creature is seen anywhere in Southern Africa, our people believe that it is an omen of great war to come. In 1958, I was in the land called Rhodesia, when a great friend of mine, a tribal chief called Rikai Tangwena, called me saying that we should go to the site where a Mhondoruga had been seen only a week before